of the alcohol, la 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all, la 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 la. But my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning sun, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every mother must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris. That's Russ. He had to take a phone call. He got an important phone call just as we were coming on the air. Music was playing and everything, so he'll be right with us. And welcome to everybody. This is episode 399. 399 right here back in the virtual nerd basement. So hey CD, hey Ojipo, happy April Fool's Day, although I have not participated in April Fool's Day and I couldn't tell you how long. I never was a big fan of that whole thing. The website has I didn't see anything crazy out there, so yeah. We don't really know what we're gonna do for 400. I mean, it's next week, and we haven't really made any big plans. I've been so fucking busy with work and other things going on that I haven't had time to really work anything out for the big 400. We'd like to try and do things big for those, having a guest on, something like that. So we'll see. I've got an idea. I'm gonna run it by Russ and see what happens. But yeah. So that's gonna be that'll be next week, right here. So but yeah, so we can hear Russ talking in the background there. I can't really mute him, I don't think. Otherwise, we won't know when he comes back on. But his whole conversation is going to wind up on the web. One of the things I do plan on doing actually is I want to get us back on YouTube with the video portion of the podcast. Either this episode or I was thinking maybe waiting till 400, but I don't know that I want to wait. 399 might be a good time to get it back up there. I am catching up on getting the celebration. Yeah, big celebration for 420. Yeah, that's a different kind of celebration. I'm getting Tavern Nights caught up on there. I think we just had episode 107 last week, and I think I'm up to 102 up on YouTube now. So I appreciate everyone that also watches us on there for both this show and for for Tavern Nights. But yeah, it's it hasn't been a big week news wise. I'm gonna kind of wait for Russ. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll pour my drink right now while he's there. But I know we definitely want to give a big shout out and a big Nerds with Alcohol toast to Cory Booker, the representative from New Jersey, who set a record for speaking on the floor for over 24 hours. He, I believe, beat Strom Thurmond. Racist, bigoted, fucking Strom Thurmond, who set the record of 24 hours and 8 minutes, I think it was, that I read, for talking on the floor. This wasn't a filibuster; it was just to delay something. I think his was actually a filibuster. Strom's was, and that was to Strom Thurmond was protesting the Civil Rights Act. That's what kind of a person he was, and thanks again, Mark. And, I can't say how happy I am that racist motherfucker is no longer with us. He died about 22 years ago, and it was actually a day I raised a glass. yeah, this wasn't really a delay so much as it was a statement. I read his opening remarks, and he's basically just coming out saying it's time to be done with the bullshit that's going on in Washington right now, and basically saying that my constituents, and as well as everyone else's constituents, Republicans and Democrats alike, most of them are coming out and saying this needs to stop. The shit that's going on in Washington just needs to stop. So, looks like Russ is back with us now.
Sorry about that. That was a very important business call.
But
right as we were starting.
yeah.
That sucked.
So
What were you saying,
I was
Chris?
just talking about Cory Booker and his record-setting speech on the floor, and
Yeah.
how it wasn't a filibuster. He wasn't actually delaying anything. He was
just basically got on the floor.
and wanted to make a point. And I read his opening remarks, and I was saying I thought they were amazing. They were perfect. They're basically with this shit needs to stop is what it boiled down to. It's like most of the country is telling their representatives this shit needs to stop, and I agree with it completely. What's going on in Washington is bullshit. But but yeah, I was waiting until you got back to just raise a glass and in salute to Cory Booker and the wonderful work he's doing right now. So, but yeah, so how was your week?
Hey, well, first of all, we have to start. I mean, thanks everybody for joining us in the virtual nerd basement for episode 399. And we can't have a normal show without welcoming people into the virtual nerd basement. Yeah, 399. Holy shit! Like we're one away from 400.
Yeah. They were asking if we were doing anything for 400, and I'm like,
I mean, we're both so busy. I don't know if anything special is going to be able to be done, but I mean, I'd be down for something.
I said I got an idea. I got to run it by you later, though. So
Yeah. How was the game on Friday? Because I know you played D&D. I didn't go because Chris was a little under the weather.
I was fine by then. I had been under the weather, and it had been less than 24 hours since my fever broke. So
right, and so I was just like, you know what, I'm going to not risk it. I've got a lot of gigs coming up and stuff, and I've been sick a few times, so I bowed out for the night.
So it went well. We had a good time. They took the top.
They what?
They took the top of the mountain.
Okay.
They actually came up with a plan. You on Clamor took the little ones, Halt and Euchariah, and you flew up, and then Klimbrum ran up the side, and Grimbolt got turned into a giant eagle and carried Octavian. And as you were approaching, some arrows rained out. Several hit Grimbolt and turned him back into a dwarf. Well, it turns out a giant eagle only has a 13 AC and 26 hit points. So,
no.
And I even let Pete roll for the hit points afterwards. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and roll. And it was 29, but they had done 32 points of damage to him. And
I mean, you'd think a giant eagle, when you say giant eagle, just the sheer size of an eagle big enough to carry a person would have relatively the same amount of hit points as, I don't know, a Pegasus. This is one of those places that, where the math isn't mathing.
But yeah, so luckily, Euchariah was prepared, and you kept Clamor within 30 feet of the eagle. You guys kind of flew together, so that when that happened, he immediately used his reaction to cast Featherfall. And then while they were flying on the next round, they're floating down. He cast Polymorph again, and on Grim, Grim was able to grab Octavian in his claws, flew him up. They
didn't get hit this time.
They did. He did get hit. He had like 3 hit points left when they landed that time. Clamor got down to 5 before you used your lay on hands on him.
Jeez. All right.
And they killed an orc, or Grimble killed an orc with Octavian. So one of the orcs had gotten hit. Halt was launching arrows back, hit one of the orcs, didn't kill it, and then Grim basically flew in and put Octavian through the orc as it came in. Used him as a club.
We're gonna throw an armored human at an orc and hope it does enough damage to
kill it. And it did. Now,
that's called using improvised weapons.
Yes. He did hit him with it. Did enough damage. I actually made Octavian take a little bit of damage too. And basically I told him he looked like he was had just played a day of Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
Because he had so much blood on him. It was just
covered in blood.
But you killed all the orcs that were up there, found a door inside, found what was a chimney. The dwarves recognized the smell as that of a forge. Octavian sent the arcane eye down through the chimney and saw what was a forge with multiple forges going on down there, and a whole lot of people in chains. Everything from humans, not so many elves, a lot of dwarves, some humans, couple of elves, and even some orcs down there in chains. And striding through the middle of that was a fire giant.
A fire giant?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
There were also other orcs in there with whips and clubs, basically watching what was going on, the taskmasters. And then pulled that back out, and then you went down this doorway, went down some stairs, found a landing, went around a landing, heard a bell, the roof collapsed. Everybody took damage. It took you a while to unbury yourselves. And went back up on top, and then went over to the front edge and looked over to see what was going on down there. Didn't see anything. And so, yeah, that's where we left things off. Was you're up on top of the mountain trying to figure out your next steps.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good. I mean, so we basically. So wait a minute, you went. They scouted it, or did they attack the orcs and stuff in the forge?
They scouted it. They sent the arcane eye down. You guys weren't able to get down there. The chimney's too small. It's only about a foot across, and it winds and gets thinner at places and gets wider at places, type of thing. And then you went down the stairs, and then they collapsed the ceiling on you.
Oh, okay. Well, the next step is planning how to take out the slavers, I guess. So, cool. I'm hopefully I should be able to come to the next one, but I might be late because it's a Friday night, because we play on Fridays, and I have a makeup gig on the next Friday.
It'll be the 11th is the next game.
Right, but we have to be done with makeup by, like, I think the doors are at 6 or something like that, so I have to have makeup done by like 6:30ish or something like that, and so it just may. But I got to come from Canterbury Village, so I may be a little late, or I mean, like, later than I normally would be, and but I'm hoping to come to the next game because I'll miss it.
So
what else? So how was your week otherwise? Everything good?
Yeah, well, for the most part, I took a fall Sunday night.
You took a fall?
So I went to curling to run the league, not to play. Came home early because of that storm coming through.
Which was lame.
Yeah, it was not nearly what they said. I mean, we all got
No.
alerts at the club, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be here in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm heading east. It's coming from the west. I might be able to beat it home.
Yeah.
As soon as I can.
And
If I can
sure,
get
it
on the
got a
ice.
little windy,
Yeah,
but
it wasn't as bad as all that.
no.
Heard a
From what I
little bit of
understand,
thunder, but not much.
yeah, thunder and lightning. It was a little rough out
And it was
apparently out west, or
yeah.
like in Ann Arbor
It
and
was
shit.
really
But
bad up north. They
yes,
got hit with ice.
yeah,
Like all of Gaylord is out of power right now.
that's what I heard. Yes. Yeah.
But anyway, so I got home, was getting ready to go into the basement. Renee's setting up the dog's kennels in the basement because the sirens had gone off, so she's trying to get them downstairs to take shelter. And I was on the stairs. I was at the top of I was at the landing. Took one step down. Went, oh, I forgot something. Went to step backwards on my good leg, and it just gave out.
Oh man.
I went straight down. Didn't go down the stairs, luckily, but I came straight down on the edge of the landing. Landed on my ass and my forearm on my left side, my good side. But my right leg bent farther than it's supposed to right
Oh,
now, and way harder and faster than it's supposed to.
sure.
So,
Been there, man. Been
so,
there.
so I because it kind of like stuck to the step. It was on the first step,
Okay.
which is actually also probably a good thing because it was whatever it is, 6 inches lower, 8 inches lower than what my other foot was or where my ass hit. So it could have been worse, but it stuck, and so it kind of just stayed there as I came down, and it took all my weight as I was coming down.
Okay.
So, so basically, both my legs gave out underneath me is what it really turned into. And so hopefully I didn't really do anything extra. It's feeling better. It's very tender to the touch right now. It hurts once in a while when I move a certain way. But for the most part, it doesn't feel a lot worse than it did before. So I'm hoping that I didn't do anything extra. But other than that, it was a week. Lots of work. Tried playing cornhole, made it through a game and a half, and said, nope, not able to do that yet. Not going this week. And with after the fall, and I was sore from cornhole for like 3 days. I had, along with all this, I had my sciatic nerve got pinched on my left side.
Hey,
So
old man.
yeah,
Well, calm
dude,
down, dude.
dude, but now I'm feeling fine. My sciatic nerve finally seemed to have released today. I don't have the immense pain that I've been in for almost a week from that. So, yeah, it's been a week for that, but
I guess so. Um,
so how about you?
well, I am doing okay. Work was workish. Just getting more and more into that, into some of the stuff. Found out today, I did find out at the Nain, I ran into our designer at the Nain, our float designer, the guy that does all the initial designs. Ran into Jimmy at the Nain Rouge Parade on Sunday, and he did confirm like one of the floats that we were going to be making that we weren't sure if they were coming back. So we're making at least 6 this season, which is bigger. It's one more than last year, and plus the Skillman float, which is always, we don't really count that because technically that's a 7th float, but but it's only a single chassis. So we are doing a Pet Supplies Plus float now, so there's 6, and we had a little meeting today just talking about like building security and stuff. And Tony had said that we're hoping that there's 2 full drawings that are being worked on right now should be going to the various companies soon. So probably by the end of the month, we should have at least our drawing, at least the first 2 drawings, the first 2 designs, so we can potentially get started on some of the early stuff. So that was good. I had to jump through a bunch of hoops to do paperwork for Sonic Temple. That was the phone call I had earlier, just at the beginning of the show. Right as we started, he calls me back to answer. I had to ask him one of my connections there to ask him some questions about some of this paperwork, just about insurance stuff, and he was saying that that there's somewhere between 10 to 15,000 more people this year than last year, and there was over 50,000 at the event last year.
Well, dude,
yeah.
I saw the lineup. Fucking A.
Yeah,
It's better this year than it was last year.
I would say there are some pretty big names, but I kind of liked last year's lineup a little bit better. I am really excited to see Metallica. I've never seen Metallica in concert twice. They're going to play twice,
Yeah.
2 different sets. And there's some other really big, big names. Like Rob Zombie is playing, Alice Cooper is playing. There's some really big names, so I am excited still. But Disturbed was at last year's show, and I've always been a big fan of them.
And
so.
I'm a big fan of theirs too, and I would have loved to have seen them. But yeah, where was it? Oh yeah, Linkin Park's playing. Where was it? Lineup. Here we go. This isn't the list I found. I found a good list that just basically listed them all out. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the graphic that has the.
Not even the graphic. It was just somebody actually just. It was just the full thing. But I do see this here. This is from Instagram. Let's see. Suicidal Tendencies, which is another band I really like.
Well, the big ones that are on the big main stage so far, just to rattle them off real quick: Korn, Metallica, Linkin Park, Bad Omens, Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Incubus, Alice in Chains, Chevelle, 3 Days Grace, Seven Dust, Alien Ant Farm, Orgy.
I can't fucking.
Let's see; those are just some of the really big ones that read off.
Yeah, Hollywood
Suicidal
Undead,
Tendencies,
Jimmy
Eat World.
Yeah, Jimmy Eat World. Mastodon.
Hollywood Undead. Killswitch Engage, Cannibal Corpse, Hatebreed, Crossfade, Arch Enemy, Gwar.
Yep. Ministry.
Now that's a big one too. I'm gonna, if I have the opportunity, fuck Korn. I want to see Ministry. Filter, Nitzer Ebb. Whitechapel.
Even some like 80s bands too, like Orgy's going to be there, and
Orgy's Orgy's 80s 90s.
Yeah.
But Sick Puppies, Hoobastank.
Yeah, Hoobastank, that's right.
Corrosion of Conformity.
Yep.
Unfortunately, some of these earlier ones I may not have a chance to see. Alice in Chains, I say Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Corrosion of Conformity. Some of these ones I may not get a chance to see because they're real early in the day and I'll be working. So, unfortunately, but the later ones, I mean, the big names, the headliners, I'm done by then. By the time the headliners come up, so
I Prevail. That's another one I would like to see. They're actually from Detroit.
Bullet for My Valentine. Oh yeah, I Prevail. Mm-hmm.
3 Days Grace.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm fucking excited. It's going to be great, and I've had a couple of good. It was a little disappointing because I had a good meeting with Britain, phone meeting with Britain, and then I found out that they can't squeeze us into camping, and I can't get in. They're not being able to get me any food vouchers, so it is getting more expensive for me to do this show, but it should still be profitable, and I should have a good time. So.
Oh, and now you know. Now you know what you need to negotiate for next year to have in your contract.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And hopefully next year I can. We've already talked. I already said to Britton, I was like, well, hopefully next year I can get in early enough that I can get into the camping. And she's like, oh yeah, no, we'll talk earlier and we get it out, and because we just get a van and just sleep in the van and just basically do
van down by the river.
Down by the concert, basically. Down by, yeah.
Down by the
the
Urine River.
Ugh.
Oh wait, no, that was Woodstock.
Yeah. So, but anyway, overall, this is it's pretty good. I gotta. At first, I was a little nervous about because they're like, oh, well, we need this. I got basically a form letter saying like, hey, we need your insurance needs to cover needs to cover this. It needs this, and I'm like, can I get some clarification on this? I'm new to this shit. And they were like, oh no, your numbers are fine. The amounts that you're covered. We just need to make sure that you also have automotive insurance. We need to make sure you also that the form says these things that you're covered, whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right. So it's just a matter of me doing that. And because everything's done online and everything's done via email, it's just really frustrating for me because I prefer to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But still, even still, it's gonna be
You're
really
a
cool.
talker.
Apparently, huh?
You're a talker.
I'm a talker. I'm a talker. I like to talk. Apparently, they're going to have this kind of funny thing. They're going to have essentially a Metallica themed Happy Meal. It's called the Black Box Meal, and it's a blackened burger bar for the blackened burger bar, and you basically walk up and you buy essentially an adult Happy Meal. That's a Metallica themed kind of thing, which is a little more gourmet. It's a really good burger and fries, I guess.
And it'll be
But
$35.
God, I hope not, because I am gonna have to bring food to like probably a cooler with food in it every day. Because there is food available. There will be food available for you to buy, but it will probably get a little more expensive to do that, like for at least
When
2 meals.
yeah,
So
when they have you as a captive audience,
yeah,
the
yep,
prices go up.
yep, for sure. A whiskey
So
bar. I mean, it's. I'll tell you though. I mean, I gotta admit, this is a very fucking awesome music festival. I mean, it is like they're calling it. It is the biggest rock and metal festival in the country now. There are some other ones that come close, and they're also managed by the same company, but this one is probably the biggest. Like it's the highest attended. There are some other ones that are also
it's
four
only like
days.
three and a
But
half
this is
hours
the
away.
highest. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's not a bad drive. So anyway, I am looking forward to it though. It's
Yep.
gonna be awesome.
So
So yeah,
how was the rest
what
of
do
the
you
week?
drink?
Oh, you
No, I'm okay.
okay?
Just working and trying to get shit accomplished. I will say that I am, as always, like we always, a couple of old men talking about the weather at some point in our show. The weather is. I'm tired. I'm tired of this fucking seesaw shit. I'm tired of 72 degrees one day and 40 degrees the next. I'm glad that at least for the most part we haven't. We've been in southeastern Michigan. We've been staying above freezing for the most part
It's
during the
supposed to be snow
day.
tomorrow though.
Yeah, it's dipped down a bit at night a
Snow
few
and rain
times.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that right there. Right there. That's what it is.
Yep.
Fucking this,
Yep.
right? That is
It's
how
early
I
May though.
feel.
It's got to snow on opening day.
It's not
It
early May, it's early
or I mean
April.
early April. I mean it always snows like the first week of April.
Yeah, that's true. So
I mean I remember blizzards on opening day, or at least one.
yeah. So
But yeah. So all right. Well, you started asking, but I'll ask you. What are you drinking?
but today I realized I still had some of these hard Mountain Dews sitting, and I wanted to have a mango. I meant to bring you the couple ones because I know you hadn't tried a few of them. So maybe I will have to do that.
Mango juice.
Mango, it's not bad, but the funny thing is they weren't cold, so I had to decant it and put some ice in it, like a real Mountain Dew. But it's like Trump orange though, man. Look at that. That's crazy. That's not even beer orange. That's like yikes. And it actually does
Bad spray
the
tan
video.
orange.
The video doesn't do it justice. It's just like it's really fucking. That's a little bit better, I guess, back here, but because it is really fucking orange. It's not bad. I mean, they're good. I mean, they just. I remember feeding one to my friend David, and he's just like he was like, "Oh, that's awful." Kept drinking it. It's just, oh, this is really terrible.
Yeah,
What
this
was
is
that thing
terrible.
that
I'll just take the rest of these and get rid of them for you.
Yeah,
It
I
just-
think yeah. What was that? Remember that drink, that malt beverage drink that I had? It might have been on our first year of doing this, and
oh,
I had my friend Colin as a guest that day, and it
oh
was like
yeah.
this orange it was like
Oh, it
an
was like the
alcoholic fruit
tiki
punch.
thing.
Tiki, yeah, it was a tiki thing, and it was just fucking terrible. It was one of those things that we're taking a drink, and you're just like, I just, I, it's not good. That I'm trying to be like complimentary, but I couldn't. And then like Colin was like, "Here, let me try it." And he goes, and I was like, "I'm trying. It's kind of," and he's like, he takes a sip, and goes, "Oh no, that's terrible." And then there was something else. There was two. There was, I think it was another friend of mine. It was something else too. Like I think oh no, that's what it was. I had another one at home, and I gave it to my friend Lydia, who was staying with us because it was during Ren Fair time, and my friend Lydia tasted it, and she's trying to think, and I'm like, she just gets this real pensive look on her face, and I'm like, are you trying to describe how bad it is? Lydia was on our show
Yeah,
once too.
she was hilarious.
And yeah, she was hilarious. She's a washing well winch now, and she was like, I'm trying to figure out how to make it better. Like what to add to it, what other booze to add to it to make it better. And yeah, she was the one. She came on the show and she drank Miller High Life because
Yeah,
it's the champagne.
the
of
champagne
beers.
of beers. Yep, the champagne of shitty beers.
She is, honest to God, one of the funniest people I've ever met. She is really, really fucking funny. Broke my buddy's heart though.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
so that's what
Ojipo's
I'm
drinking
drinking.
a 7.5 ounce zero sugar Pepsi.
Zero sugar Pepsi. That sounds like cheapo for sure.
And a
Currently
7.5
enjoying
ounce
some.
though. That's not even our like a regular size.
Oh yeah, I tell you one thing actually today. What yeah, 7.5 ounces. That's like not even a can. I had to go to the doctor today. I had my first ultrasound.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm having some swelling, like right here in
oh,
my upper. It's probably just like holding on to some kind of like lymph or something. Like my lymph nodes are swollen or whatever. And so yeah, my doctor, I noticed it. I noticed it like a year ago or so, and then I noticed it again more recently. And I was like, and you can't really see it unless I kind of move or right. Kind of, it's hard to see it here, but you can kind of see it a little bit
yeah.
here. And but it doesn't always, it doesn't hurt either. It doesn't bother me. But the doctor is like, okay, there's not fluid so much buildup in there, but so I'm swollen up there or whatever. And so they're gonna look at it.
CD's doing
But
a.
that's definitely unnerving because now I got to get and sit and wait for the doctor to look at it and
Yep.
go,
So
okay.
CD's doing a fresh squeezed non-alcoholic. Gives it a 4 out of 5. That's pretty good for a an NA beer. Deschutes Brewery, which they do the regular fresh squeezed IPA, best IPA NA I've found yet. Some hoppy and juicy flavors, really a surprise. I actually like the fresh squeeze. I think that's a good one. Me myself, I am drinking something that may be one of my favorite drinks right now. It is this yellow liquid right here. It is the zero sugar pineapple long drink. This is almost as good as the and maybe even better because it's zero sugar than the regular pineapple. It is all pineapple flavor. That is like drinking pineapple juice. It is so fucking good. I fucking love pineapple. This is absolutely outstanding. Unfortunately, you can only get it in a multi-pack right now. I'm really hoping that they do what they did with the other ones, which is the cranberry and the peach, and start putting out the pineapple in a actual 6-pack of their own instead of having to buy a pack of 12, only getting 3 of those, getting three of the cranberries and 6 of the regulars. It's like that's not what I want. I want a 12-pack of all these. And just shut up and take my money, But yeah, so but yes, this is the first time I've had a chance to try it. We got it a little while ago, and it is out fucking standing. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 for this one.
Cool.
Absolutely delicious. Will buy again.
Well, already.
So with that, we should move on.
Sure.
What do you want to start with?
Well, we should start with who passed this
Oh, yes.
week. Was classic television and movie actor Richard Chamberlain. He passed away on, I think it was like Sunday or Saturday. No, it was earlier in the week. Yeah,
I don't know.
it wasn't over the weekend. It was like I think it was later in the week of last week, like Friday or something like that. It was Richard Chamberlain was known quite a bit more so for when we were growing up, maybe doing television like miniseries. He was the star of the original
It was
Shogun.
Saturday.
Was it Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
He was the star of the original miniseries Shogun, which was like
Fantastic.
4-day, a 4-night,
I thought it
kind
was
of
6, but
might have been 6. It might have been. It was a big deal. I remember it being a big deal. He did a bunch of classic movies in the 70s. He was known at 60s and 70s, and yeah, so he passed. He was quite old though. This was no tragic kind of thing, but he was pretty
I was
old.
younger than I
so-
thought when I saw Shogun. Shogun was 80.
Yeah, I remember it's a very. I think I might have caught it on rerun, like when they reran it or something, because that was the other thing. One of those ones that were very very successful they'd rerun them over and over again.
Yeah. It
So,
was
yeah.
5. There were 5. It was 10 hours.
Okay. Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, and I think he was in. I'm not pulling up. I didn't pull up his IMDb, but I think he was in like a pretty well known Three Musketeers movie.
He was in the Three Musketeers, the Four Musketeers, the Man in the Iron Mask. He
Yeah.
was in like all those.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was one of those actors that was able to transition from doing movies to television, back when you really didn't do that all that much. That was one of those, like, back in the 80s, even into the 90s, you were either a movie star or you were a TV star. And if you made that shift, it was probably because very few actors were able to, like, kind of maintain that and make and be able to do both. And if you did, you were either really coming up or you're on your way down, because TV was still seen as a lesser form of entertainment than movies, in the eyes of, like, the art form, I suppose. I don't think the public actually saw it that way, but so yeah, Richard Chamberlain kind of passed. There was a couple other ones.
I'll raise a glass.
I'll raise a glass to him, There was a couple other ones that I saw. Less well known though. There was a guy that he was a kind of a well known stuntman and did a lot of low budget like kung fu movies and karate movies that were like, but more so like in the 80s. And I think he was Australian too. So he was this guy. I can't remember his name right now, but so yeah, he passed, and that's kind of I mean. I think he's the kind of actor that would probably our parents would be a little more like, that's a bummer,
Yeah. And he was what, like 90 or something like that?
Yeah, this was no tragedy or anything. He was an old guy, so.
But yeah, so to go off of that though, Renee and I have started. We're caught up on all of our shows. We wound up catching up on Daredevil, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we started watching a couple of other shows. We actually started The Studio, which is that new Seth Rogen show.
Right. What do you think so far? Because if you look at it on IMDb, it has got an almost perfect score on IMDb.
I think it's got a lot of potential. The first episode is a first episode.
Okay, excuse me. 95% from the studios, 69% from the audiences. But that'll probably change. You were saying.
I think it's got a lot of potential. I mean, it's Seth Rogen, it's Catherine Hahn, it's who's Who else
Well,
is it?
everybody.
Bryan Cranston's in it.
Yeah, like
Um,
everybody. It's kind of
yeah.
like Entourage. There's tons of
Well,
actors playing themselves
well,
in
but
the
they're
show.
none of these people are playing themselves.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're all playing other people. Like so.
Well,
Oh, and
yeah, I know.
Catherine O'Hara is in it as well. So,
Yeah, okay.
um,
I know Seth Rogen is not playing himself, of course,
no,
but
none
yeah.
of the people I mentioned are actually playing themselves, but there are cameos of people who are.
Well, Anthony Mackie, I think he cameos. Does he
He
play
wasn't in the
himself?
first episode, but I believe he is coming in. Yes. Then the first episode, you got Martin Scorsese actually.
Holy shit! That's great.
But anyway, that's the whole thing. Is that the idea is that he's been like this one of the creatives behind this studio for a long time, and they finally fire the woman who's been in charge forever, and that's Catherine O'Hara's character, and they give the job to him. Bryan Cranston is the CEO of the studio.
Okay.
And so he's now so he gives the job to Seth Rogen and basically tells him, and Seth Rogen's character wants to make films. He wants to make good movies. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to make just crap. He wants to make good film, good cinema. And like he's an old school movie guy. And the studio, and Cranston's character, says they want to capitalize on all this IP stuff that's going on out there. Like, if whoever it was that did the Barbie movie, can make everyone want to. It makes it really crass the way he puts it, but basically, if it wants to make everyone want to fuck a doll.
Right. Yeah. That's I was guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we need to do something. And the IP that they were able to acquire, Kool-Aid. So he wants them to make a movie about the Kool-Aid Man. So a lot of the first episode is Seth Rogen's character walking around going, "How the fuck do we make a movie about the Kool-Aid Man?"
And, it's true because it is only a matter of time. I mean, they are making making movies about tapping into everything that they can, and senses of nostalgia. I mean, when you really think about it, Game of Thrones has been off the air for what, 5 or 6 years, 7 years, 8 years now, something like that.
It's probably been. I did the tour 4 years ago, something like that. So yeah, probably about 5 years,
And so
4 or 5 years.
It started in 19.
Yeah.
It ended in 19. So
Okay, so 6 years.
6 years. So it's been off the air for 6 years. You give it another 4 years, and I mean, people that were teenagers when it went off the air will be, in their mid-20s, mid to late 20s or whatever, and they'll be looking to buy things that will remind them, that will be nostalgic for them. The same thing. Look at perfect example is Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the first movie came out in 99, I believe it was. And so the movies have been out long enough. The shit that's been since the last one, that they are now making a TV show based
Yeah.
on each season being based on the book, on a book, which personally I think is a great idea, even though J.K. Rowling is a piece of crap.
Well, and the whole reason I'm hearing that they're doing that she's doing this is to disassociate the actors from the first movie that have been critical of her. She's trying to basically write them out.
Well, I don't think that's the only reason, but I think it really is like Warner Brothers wants to capitalize on something that still, to this day, still makes a lot of money. And they were like, okay, we still make a pretty good amount of money on Harry Potter. We want to continue to do that. Let's make a show, and we'll milk that.
I say I so want to like it, but I can't do anything Harry Potter anymore. It
I've been
just
seeing some of the castings, and some of the castings I've been seeing have been like Nick Frost is apparently going to play Hagrid, and which I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good casting, I think. And then, but
I
then
still
there's
don't
the people,
care. I
yeah,
she's a piece of shit.
she is.
I won't give her any money.
So, we'll see. But yeah, but like I said, that's an example. I mean, the fact that the He-Man live action movie that they're making, and from what I've heard so far, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be a great idea, guys, because some of the story elements that they've made, the changes they've made, makes me feel like, oh God. But in all honesty, the cartoon that Kevin Smith put out on Netflix was absolutely fantastic. And if they had stuck to that and made a live action version of that, it would have killed. So nostalgia makes money, man.
Yep.
They make
But
money from nostalgia.
anyway, so the whole idea though is that they get one guy to pitch an idea, and basically it's Kool-Aid Man has a Kool-Aid family. That way we can get like the other colors in there too. Like his wife could be green and his kid could be yellow and or blue and stuff, and all this stuff, and then they get a call that Scorsese wants to make a movie, and he's like, oh my God, I got to take the meeting with Scorsese. So he goes and talks with Scorsese, and the movie Scorsese wants to do, Jonestown.
Wow. So they're gonna do Jonestown and Kool-Aid Man at the same
Well,
time.
just the whole Kool-Aid thing with that, and they're like, we can't fucking do this. How are we gonna do this? We can't. And
Jones. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
No,
that was they drank the Kool-Aid. So they're like, we can't do both those
I
movies.
completely missed it. I was thinking about the seriousness of what happened in Jonestown, and then the ridiculousness of
A Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man. I was like, okay. You can draw the same parallel between Barbie and Oppenheimer,
Yeah,
but yet that was a combination. I mean, it became a meme. It was Barbenheimer. People would go and
yeah.
see one movie and the other movie in the same day. And I still haven't seen Oppenheimer. I really
I
need to
haven't
see
either. We
that.
started watching it, but it's really quiet at the beginning, and
It's very long.
and it's very long, and the dogs were going crazy, and we were just like, nope, fuck this. We'll start this again some other time. We haven't had a chance because it's 3 hours long. I mean, it's
Right.
I haven't watched Barbie yet either.
Barbie, I actually bought a copy. It was good enough that I was like, you know what, I'll add this to the collection. It was a really
But
solid movie.
But anyway, it's all
funny
about
as
them
fuck.
going back and forth on these movies and stuff, and they're still
Okay.
and so that's going to be the premise is they're trying to
It
figure
sounds
out
very real life.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Like
a lot of
how
single
Hollywood.
camera shots,
Okay.
like them being in an office and then walking out, and the same camera just follows them as they walk out.
Okay.
Catherine
Cool.
Hahn her character is marketing.
Catherine Hans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fucking cool. I loved Entourage. Like, I really enjoyed that show, and then they made a movie too. And Entourage,
never watched
kind of
it.
delved. Oh man, it kind of delved into what it's like to be an actor in Hollywood, and what it's like to make movies and make features and different things like that. And it really delved into a lot of that aspect. I mean, it was ridiculous at times too, but there's a great deal of realism with that show, and I think that's kind of in a similar fashion what this show is going to be like. I'd say what I'm just getting into or rewatch. I almost done rewatching the first season of
Sorry,
of
Ojipo just posted something with the dark humor here. Just pictured Kool-Aid Man busting through the wall and finding the Jonestown group on the floor.
Oh no, what have I done? Yeah.
Oh
It would have to be
no!
grape Kool-Aid though. It
Yeah,
would have to be grape Kool-Aid. And that's the thing. If Kool-Aid Man and Kool-Aid Lady had a baby, I mean, if he was red and she was like yellow or lemon or something, they'd have to have an orange. The kid would have to be orange. I
Yeah.
don't know. So, anyway, it's so stupid. So, I'm almost done rewatching the first season of Cobra Kai.
Oh, the first
And
season.
yeah, because I wanted to rewatch because it's been so long, and I honestly, as much as I liked watching the first season, I never got around to watching any more because there's just so many things to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I gotta come back to this show. And I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna. And the nice thing is they're half an hour episodes,
Yep.
so like I can like, while I'm eating a bowl of cereal or eating a sandwich, I can just like watch an episode or two or whatever, and I'm not as invested as when you sit down to watch an episode of Daredevil, and which is at least an hour, and you're gonna watch one, you're gonna go, I really want to watch another one. So can do that a little bit more with Cobra Kai, but I gotta tell you, man, uh, it was it's so damn good. I forgot, and just like watching and I also finished off the first season of Daredevil as well, and you forget how good those shows were, and Cobra Kai is just fantastic, perfect amount of humor, perfect amount of heart. Watching Johnny Lawrence like grow as a person, and particularly in that first season, but still be Johnny Lawrence. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
change who he is. He just grows and like he's still a bit of a misogynist. He's still stuck in the 80s. He still like refuses to like text or email. So he writes his son a letter. Um, and one of the cool things, it's made me want to rewatch the movies too, because and a lot of this was the whole Cobra Kai thing was built on the idea of like Daniel LaRusso in the Karate Kid is
He's
no saint in
he's
those movies. He
there's the
does
whole
some
theory
douche,
that Daniel's actually the bully.
yeah, that he does some douchey shit. Like and there's I just watched the scene where Johnny basically tells Miguel, his star student, like his version of what happened in the first Karate Kid movie,
Mm-hmm.
about how this guy from New Jersey kind of comes in, moves in on his girl that he's trying to get back, just trying to have a conversation, and he's not very good at expressing himself probably, and yeah, he's a bit of a bully in high school, but Daniel LaRusso like egged him on, like at first I thought I had finished it and whatever with the initial fight on the beach, but then he douses me at the Halloween dance and shit like that. And now Johnny Lawrence and his crew do go overboard. He kind of sugarcoats it a bit. So he was no saint,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but Daniel Russo did a few things that was like, man, you didn't help this situation
No,
either.
no, he didn't.
You know, so
There were bad choices, and there was all sorts of wrong on both sides.
yeah, and so that's one of the things that I like about this show is it really kind of it forces you to explore that there is always two sides to every story. There are different perspectives that have validity, and that it also shows that yay, even if you had a shitty time when you were coming up, that doesn't mean you can't change.
Right.
You can't get better and change and stuff, and that's what happens to Johnny Lawrence. And I'm excited to continue to watch these and see how the show progresses and whatnot. And then I'm really trying to spend. I've been spending too much time gaming lately, I think, and I haven't been committing the time to the TV shows and movies that I need to. So
So, well, see,
yeah,
and talking about going back and watching shows, Renee and I do that when we're painting or building models or something like
right.
that. We'll put something on. I used to watch Buffy a lot. We've gone back and
Shows
watched.
you've seen already,
Yep.
so you don't have to be like focused
Right.
100%, but
But
you
you can be
still
like
want to
you can be like,
revisit.
oh wait, this is a great scene. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah,
Or
right, exactly.
or something like that. We've put on Letterkenny, which is a dialogue-driven show. We've put uh, we actually just started the latest one we're doing, and actually we've gotten so back into it that we're watching it now. Just like, hey, do you want to just put on this and watch it? Watch a couple
Yeah.
episodes, and it's Castle.
Castle.
So
That's another one. Yeah, I want to go back to. That was a great
I
show.
actually
Nine seasons.
yeah, talking with my boss. He was telling me, and I had never heard this, but I looked it up, and I guess there are a lot of rumors about it. Is that
Hmm.
Nathan Fillion and Stana Katic did not like each other at the end.
No, they did not. They got along for the first few seasons, but by the end of the show, I mean, she left in the last season,
Yeah.
and by the end they barely were talking, and there's a lot of everybody's been real quiet in KG as to exactly why. You know, like they haven't been able. Nobody has come right out and said, "Oh, it was because he did this or she did that." I've read about that. Yeah.
There were some rumors that I guess that he was really like it was the way he treated her, and I'm like, I've heard lots of things about Nathan Fillion, but I've never heard that he's an asshole like that.
Right. Yeah. He is kind of one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, kind of thing, you know. And so yeah. Did you
But
see
I mean,
what CD
that
just
close together for that long, though. I mean, I can see you might get sick of each other. I mean,
Did you
it's like
see
any
what
relationship.
CD just wrote?
What, the too much gaming?
Too much gaming, you don't say. Fucking. Then Cheapo's just like, LOL, CD. All right. You know what? Rewatching Kenny. I kind of want to rewatch Letterkenny too. I've been meaning to do that.
We're finishing up. We actually just watched another episode of the last season of Shorzy. So.
Oh yeah, I need to get back to. Yeah. I need to finish watching those.
And I'll rewatch Eureka. Eureka's a good one.
Eureka.
I'm waiting, so I can't rewatch Eureka until they fucking put Warehouse 13 back on somewhere. Because I want to watch that and I want to show it to Renee because I think she would absolutely fucking love that show. And I want to watch Eureka or want to watch that before Eureka because it's really kind of a spin-off.
They kind of have similar vibes.
They were tied together. They weren't necessarily. It wasn't really a spin-off, but they had a lot of crossovers, or they had a couple of crossovers.
Was it crossovers or was it just crossovers of actors? Because I don't remember.
No, it was actually crossovers too.
Okay, fair enough.
But I loved both those shows.
What's that?
I loved both those shows.
Yeah, I mean they were both great. I didn't get into Warehouse. I didn't watch a whole lot of Warehouse 13, but when I did watch it, I really enjoyed it. Eureka, I thought was very original. It was one of those sci-fi shows that I was like, damn, this is really fucking cool. There was some great stuff. I mean, I really need to rewatch Serenity. I haven't rewatched that in a long time. I'd love to get back into Buffy and Angel.
Both of those are on Hulu. So
yeah, and a lot of those shows. Well, they also have the DVDs up there.
Yeah.
You know. But
why pull those down when you can just stream it?
Smallville.
Yeah, Smallville.
Yeah, honestly, that's the other thing. I mean, most of the time I just pull it up on the streaming app.
Smallville's also on Hulu. It's on my list, but it's so many seasons that.
A lot of these shows too, I want to introduce Stella to because she's never watched them, and I think she'd really enjoy, particularly Buffy and Angel, and like True Blood and some of these other ones. I also want to. Another one I was thinking about. Tip of my tongue. Bones.
So that was the other one I was going to bring up. I just started doing Bones. So when Renee's not home, I don't watch Castle. And I'm like, I want something else. So the other day, she was gone on like Saturday, I think it was. And I was home and I sat around, or Friday night. It might have been Friday night.
I don't skip shit, CD. I don't skip shit.
Yeah, Supernatural. Holy shit.
Yeah, Supernatural definitely. Actually, Stella has mentioned Supernatural. She really kind of.
But anyway, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Bones because that's another one of the shows that I watch when I'm out of town and it's on like Lifetime or something. I'll just be flipping through the channels, going, "What the hell's on TV? Oh, look, there's a Bones marathon. I'll just put that on." And I forgot how much I enjoyed that show. I mean, that show went for 12 years, which I didn't realize that it was that long. But that was also a great show. I'm watching it again. I watched, I think it was 7 episodes the first day that I put it on as I was just sitting around building models. It was like 6 or 7 episodes. It was, I think I'm on episode 10 right now. I did some painting last night and watched an episode. But all those shows. I mean, I love all that stuff. I love going back and watching old shows that I really liked.
Oh, for sure. I've been wanting to do a rewatch of MASH. It's been decades.
Yeah, that's one I was never into.
I'd love to go back and watch ER. And speaking of it, because that was such a great medical show. And speaking of ER, you and I have both been obsessing over The Pit.
Yes. This last episode was intense, but
holy
was
shit.
It good.
Holy shit. You know, we were wondering.
Emmys
everywhere. Emmys and Golden Globes everywhere. you and I were wondering how the hell, because the season is 15
I'd watch that
episodes.
one, Ojipo, Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Um, the we were wondering because the shift is 12 hours at the hospital, but we knew that the series was going to be 15 episodes, and we knew that each episode is an hour in the
Yep.
day. And we were like, well, how are they going to do that? How are they going to expect? And
Well,
we find out is because there's a shooter
a mass
at
shooter.
a mass shooter at a rock concert festival, similar to Sonic Temple, and they're the closest hospital, so they get the initial triage and the initial like people that are coming from it, all the people that have been shot, all the people that were trampled, all the people that were hurt, just either way, and it is so intense and so
And it's right at
realistic
the end
and
of the day
so
shift.
right. It's so bloody. Like I heard, I saw a little blurb that the actors were talking about how they basically went to ER boot camp, and they went for several weeks, were trained by medical professionals to be medical actors, essentially to act. I mean, Noah Wiley didn't need that help, I'm sure. I mean, maybe a brush up here and there. It's been a while since he's been on ER, but when you spend 15 years doing it, I think you don't forget that guy. Holy crap! But uh, basically showing them how they do start a line and innovate and do all these kinds of things, and I was just like, holy shit! Oh, House, that's another one.
Yeah,
Cheapo
House was
House.
great. Yeah,
We'll get back into
but it
that.
was. But I got bored with House because it was always the same thing. It was,
Whether it's cancer or not.
well, no, it was always the same thing. It's somebody comes in with some weird fucking medical condition. House is an asshole. He figures out
Yeah.
what's wrong, and he can either save them or he can't. I mean, it was the same formula every single time. It was always something weird that nobody else
Yeah.
could figure out. House was always an asshole. The only thing that changed was occasionally they weren't able to actually save the person.
Once per season, at least once per season, the patient died. They always had. I believe that's what they always wrote. It was. Yeah, but I'm with you on that, CD though. It was still almost consistently was quite good. It was such a
Hugh
good
Laurie's a
show.
great actor. It's just
Yeah, but no, I don't disagree. I mean, House's
After-
shitty attitude got tedious
after about 4 seasons, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. It's just the same thing over and over and over again.
I tell you another thing I would love to rewatch is Buck Rogers, the old classic Buck Rogers TV show.
Rogers and the 25th
25th
century.
century. But anyway, to get back to the pit though,
I want
it
to see that
is-
again just because of Aaron Gray.
Yeah. Oh. But to get back to the pit, I'm so impressed with this show. I mean, they also don't pull any punches with, like, just how raw it is. I mean, they're cutting clothes off, and you're seeing they're not censoring like body parts and
Nope.
stuff. They're showing catheterized penises. They're showing,
The
they're just-
simulation of childbirth was fucking.
oh God. Excellent example. Thank you. Yes, they simulated childbirth, and it was so holy shit real. There was Battlestar Galactica, another good one. Yeah.
The original or the newer version?
Well, I want to watch the newer version again, but the original would be kind of fun to watch too. But yeah, the just the blood and the viscera and just the realism and everything, and some of these patients they die. They spent several episodes dealing with this teenager, this college kid that OD'd.
Yep.
And he died, and it was dealing with how the parents coming to terms with it, coming to terms with being an organ donor, and the respect that they paid the kid that died for being that, or for.
And Huckleberry
Like,
losing
damn.
that one guy. Just
Yeah, near the beginning, and he loses that guy, and then Dr. Robbie, who wasn't able to save his, almost stepson's girlfriend, who passed was shot at the concert, and Noah Wiley's character, Dr. Robbie, ends up breaking down at the end of the latest episode, and it's like wrenches your soul out of you, man.
Yeah.
It was holy shit. On top of the fact that he's already dealing with the fact that it's a tough day for him because it's the anniversary, the 4-year anniversary of his mentor's passing due to
From
COVID.
Yep.
So it's just like, oh, it is heavy. Once the season is over, I'm gonna probably start over and kind of watch it from the beginning again and probably do like several episodes, like maybe blocks of 3 episodes at a time, just so that you really absorb it. But guys, I can't recommend this show higher. It is absolutely fantastic. If it doesn't get consistent nominations at the Golden Globes and Emmys this year, it'd be an incredible miscarriage of justice when it comes to the artistry of acting and television.
Everybody on that show is amazing.
Everybody's great. Did you know the kid, the young guy, the med student who's supposed to be like from the Heartland, he's English.
That doesn't surprise me, dude.
Yeah, he's got a British accent. I love the fact
All
that
these immigrants coming over here taking our jobs.
There's the one girl who I can't remember. That's the other thing too, because it's the first season. We haven't gotten their names engraved into our heads yet. But the one girl who's kind of a rabble rouser, the one that kind of figured out that the one other doctor was taking drugs, she was on
McCrae.
Picard. Huh?
That's McCrae.
Yeah. She was on Picard. I've seen a couple other, like the one doctor she was pregnant and she miscarried that morning.
Yeah.
I was looking across some video game. I looked up Spider-Man 2. I looked up the voice cast, so she does like some random characters in that. It's just such a fucking great job. Great show. It really is.
It really is a great show.
And it's already been renewed for a second season. The only problem is it's been Max is currently being sued by the Michael Crichton family because they feel it too closely resembles ER, and because
and it's also that I guess they took the idea for ER.
They were going to do an ER. Yeah, they were going to do an ER reboot.
Right, but and they went, no, we're not going to, and then 3 months later, all of a sudden they're doing The Pit, and it's like the exact same idea, and
more or less, they changed the names, they changed the city, they changed the hospital, But that's the thing. I mean, I doubt they're not gonna win this one. I mean, they've changed the character names, they've changed everything else. I mean, there's only so much you can do when it comes to medical dramas, to where there isn't going to be some sort of similarity, So I just think, I mean, you could argue that Grey's Anatomy and Chicago, Chicago ER, whatever.
Chicago Hope came out at the same time as ER. They both came out, I think, within a year of each other, if not the same year.
Yeah. Oh no, they did, and Chicago Hope didn't last near as long.
No, Chicago Hope didn't survive Mandy Patinkin leaving because there was no one else on that show that was fucking likable.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that show when he was on it, and as soon as he left, I'm like, this show sucks. And I realized I watched like 4 episodes, and I'm like, it's because no one else is likable. Everyone else on this show is an asshole.
Oh yeah, Scrubs was fun too.
I'm actually watching that too. Actually,
yeah. I think Patinkin left the show. If I remember correctly, Patinkin left the show because he didn't care for the breakneck speed of making TV shows.
Yeah, and then he came back for a couple of seasons of Criminal Minds. He would always come back and try it again and be like, nah, it's not for me, and leave again. And then come back and no one's going to say, no, Mandy, we don't want you on our show.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He was great on Criminal Minds. I wasn't sure if that show was going to survive after him, and it did. But it definitely was lacking something for the first couple seasons after he left.
So a couple other things. We should probably move on. A couple other things.
I got a couple other shows too. So
I did found out that they finally did announce when Strange New World season 3 will be coming to us, and that will be August. They didn't give us an exact date, but they did say August of this year we will see the new season of Strange New Worlds. I feel like, man,
I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like it's been forever already.
Yeah,
You know, I really
I
want to
agree.
see that.
CD still too far away.
Step too far away. I love it, man. It's I that show is so good. Um, so I am looking forward to that. You said you got some other shows that you
Yeah,
some
so
stuff
Renee
about?
and I actually started a new show too on Hulu. It's
Oh yeah,
Mid-Century Modern, and
yeah.
it's
The new
one.
sitcom with
Yeah,
Nathan Lane.
well, yeah,
Hmm.
and that's the thing. So I had not heard about this show. We saw it pop up on Hulu when we went to watch something else, and we both went, "Okay, fuck yeah!" And
Yeah,
I've also referred to it as the Golden Gays because
yeah, yeah,
it is the Golden Girls, but with gay men. It
yeah.
is that
I
is
heard the same thing.
and that
It's
I
being
mean the
compared to it.
characters are the same. I mean the other thing is it's also got Matt Bomer, who I've always liked from
I
like
think it's Bomer.
is it Bomer? I thought it was
I think
Bomber.
it's Bomer.
It's-
No, I think it's pronounced Bomer.
anyway, him for I loved him on White Collar.
Hmm.
I mean he's in Doom Patrol.
It's great in Doom Patrol.
Not that you see his face, but you know he's great. He is in Doom Patrol. He's been
You
in a
know what?
bunch of other things.
I always found him to
He was
be.
in
That's a
Chuck.
pretty. Oh yeah, he was on Chuck for sometimes. I found that to be very brave, honestly, because Matt Bomer, arguably, pretty handsome guy.
He's
You
in Magic
know,
Mike.
yeah, he's a very very handsome guy, and he took a role in the Doom Patrol, playing a character with his face completely covered. For the most part, most of the time. I mean, you see him in flashback where he's not, but I thought that that was pretty cool. And you know you know he is a gay man too.
Yes,
So
which I
this
didn't
is
know
the
that until I looked it up. But yes, all of the main cast is gay.
okay. Yep.
And so anyway, Matt is the Rose character,
Right. He's
the younger, pretty dumb one.
yeah. Hmm.
And he is Rose level dumb. He is dumb
Yeah.
dumb. Nathan
The
Lane,
flight attendant, right?
yes, yeah. Nathan Lane is Blanche. The over the top has to have everything.
The oversexed drama queen.
Yes.
Okay. Literally drama queen.
Yes. Then the black guy whose name I don't remember, but I've seen him in a bunch of other things too.
Yeah.
He's Dorothy, and then you've got Linda Lavin playing Nathan Lane's character's mother as Sophia. Her name's Sybil, actually. So I mean, it's not even that far off.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Linda Lavin passed away during the
And
filming of
yeah,
the first
which
season.
I had not heard that. I just looked it up and saw she'd passed away in December, and that's a shame because in the first episode she is the funniest thing in the show. I mean, the other characters are funny, but she is. I think I'm like she is going to be the one that makes this show. I think, and
She was the problem is the thing is she was honestly like the Golden Girls were all women that they were playing except for they were all women of right around the same age. I think Rue McClanahan was a little bit younger than Betty White and Dorothy. But and then the woman who played Sophia was actually right around the same age as them. They just
yeah,
put her in makeup and a wig. But they were all playing the original three Golden Girls were playing women that were they're supposed to be playing women in their early 50s, and they were playing women and they were definitely in their early 60s, which is really funny though when you really think about it too, because they were women that were supposed to be being
Nathan Lee Graham. That's who the other guy is.
okay. They were supposed to be playing women in their like early to mid 50s, and yet, I mean, you and I are in our early to mid 50s,
Yeah,
and they definitely looked older, because like I said, like I believe Blanche ended up going through menopause at one point during the show, like dealt with going through menopause. So they were definitely women in their like roughly in their 50s. So it was just kind of interesting to note like how our generation, you know, the Goonies generation, Gen X, definitely is aging a little bit
Yep.
more graceful. So, but I haven't watched the show yet, but we'll probably check it out at some point because it does look really cute. And oh, to bring that up, Linda Lavin actually was the age of a woman that she was playing. If anything, maybe she was playing a little younger. I mean,
She was
she was in her
87 when she passed. So.
yeah, she was 87 when she passed. So for a woman to continue to work into her 80s on that level, to be able to do
Yeah.
a
Well, and
sitcom,
I looked it up to see what the age difference was between her and Nathan Lane. She was 87. He's 69. So.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, we've also got
Matt Bomer is 47, I think it is.
right. It's called Mid-Century Modern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It came right up. I had to do some mid. I believe, from what I'm guessing, is that with Linda Levin's character having, obviously passed away, they will probably expand Pamela Adlon's character, Mindy Schneiderman. It looks like Bunny's maybe daughter or sister or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't met her
You
yet.
you haven't met her? Yeah, Pamela Adlon is the younger sister to the mom from Married with Children.
Katie Skull.
Katie Seagal, thank you. Yeah, she's a Seagal. Pamela, she was Pamela Seagal for many years, and she's been acting since she was a teenager. But yeah, they've got pretty. I'm looking at just kind of glancing over some of the guest stars that are going to be on the Richard Kind, Sherry O'Terry, Judd Hirsch, Rhea Perlman. You got Jesse Tyler Ferguson. He was on Modern Family. You got like a pretty decent like some a decent sitcom pedigree going on here.
Well, and the whole thing is that they all come together at a funeral for a mutual friend, and actually, ex of Matt Bomer's character,
Okay.
and he was best friends with they were like a foursome. Even when him and Bomer split up, they still kept Bomer around, and they were all like best friends.
They're pals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's George was the one that died, and that's where it starts is at George's funeral.
And so then they all move in with Bunny.
Yeah, and they all move in with Bunny.
Okay. So, and you know what? And that's the thing. Nathan Lane is a treasure. I mean, I've always liked Nathan Lane. The guy can do all kinds. I mean, the Birdcage. I mean, he's done. He did the producers. He's done so many great things. And hell, more recently, he was on Penny Dreadful, the newer version of Penny Dreadful that was set in like wartime Los Angeles, like right before World War II, and he played a tough guy cop.
Huh.
And
I
it
haven't
was
seen
like,
that one.
oh man, I didn't see the whole season. Stella and I saw a few episodes, and yeah, he plays like a tough guy cop in the late 1930s in Los Angeles, but he's a tough guy cop, but he's also kind of got a heart of gold. He's like a tough guy, but he's not an asshole. He's like, the older cop that brings the younger cop under his wing and doesn't let the younger cop's like the first like Hispanic police officer on the in that one area or something like that. I think it was the first Hispanic police officer to be made a plainclothes detective, and he's like kind of takes him under his wing, and the other guys are giving the Hispanic guy shit, and he's like, "Why are you letting him do that?"
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, Nathan Lane, The Lion King. I mean, just so many good things.
I agree, and welcome aboard, Wings. But yeah, she was saying that she loves Nathan Lane.
Oh yeah. So, anyway, well, cool show. It's a cool show to take a look at. So.
And then just real quick, one other thing I wanted to touch on was when I was watching. I think I just went to put Big Bang on last night just to watch an episode, and I saw a big ad for Last of Us season 2. I'm like, wait, that's not or not season 2, but big ad for Last of Us season 1. And I'm like, or it was just, it said Last of Us, and I went, wait, oh no, it's not. The season 2's not out yet. And then I realized that it was Last of Us season 1 with ASL. They actually have a sign language person in the bottom right corner during the show doing sign language for the show, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Okay. Isn't that why we have closed captioning?
Yes, but what if you don't want to read? If you're better at sign language than reading? See, for me, part of the reason I don't like dubbed things, we talked about this at the game on Friday, actually, was one of the reasons I don't like dubbed anime and I don't like dub shows is I read slowly.
Okay.
I read well, but I read slowly. I read
Okay.
every single word in a sentence. I don't skim. I don't get
You
sentences by
absorb the
chunks.
page.
I absorb
Yeah.
the page. I am really slow at reading novels. Like
Okay.
I will absorb a novel, but it will take me weeks to get through one.
I'm a fast reader, but it distracts me. I don't. I want to
And
be able.
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I'm not watching what's going on the screen if I'm
If I'm
trying to
reading.
read what's on the
Right.
what they're saying.
Exactly. I just feel like that watching somebody do ASL in the corner.
Sorry, I'd love to see a movie with Nathan Lane and Patton Oswalt. You know
Yeah,
what? And
like a father and son combo.
and if you
That would
could
be funny.
and actually the one I would love to see in this show. Sorry, this is back to mid-century modern real quick before we go move on. The one I think is missing from the show that would have been absolutely perfect for it. That unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago is the guy from Call Me Kat. I don't remember his name, but the little short dude.
Yeah, he passed away too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was so fucking funny, and I
So
think
funny.
him and Nathan Lane together would be fucking out of this world. Fall
would
on the
have been
floor laughing.
It would have been hilarious. That would have been. He was one of the funniest parts about Call Me Kat.
He was.
And Call Me Kat was a decent show. It was a decent sitcom. It was, it hit all the right marks. It just, I think it didn't really resonate enough. But, yeah. So yeah, we should let's move on a little bit. I think here.
But yeah,
So check out Mid-Century Modern,
Leslie
guys.
Jordan. Leslie Jordan.
Leslie
that was his
Jordan.
name.
Leslie Jordan. Great. Real quick thing here. I finished off the main storyline for Skyrim the other day. Pretty much finished off my playthrough of the game.
For
There's
the
still a
how many
couple of.
time?
That's the third full playthrough. I've started and stopped a few times over the years. This is the third full playthrough. And the first time, but I was still, because of certain like newer add-ons and newer like mods and stuff, there were a lot of stuff that I had never done before. And I was like, this is awesome. I finished the assassin missions. It was pretty great. I finished that. I could still go back and like do a few more things that I kind of came across after I finished it. The final fight. The funny thing is, I was so powerful basically that the final fight was over in like 10 seconds. It was like this big nasty dragon that's like the eater of souls, and you're fighting him in essentially Valhalla, and you travel into the afterlife where he's devouring the souls of the great heroes of the past or whatever. And you're like and you get into a fight with him, and you're like, 10 seconds. I was done. I was like, and it's one of the complaints that I've always had one of the few complaints I have about Skyrim is quite often you get powerful enough that the dragons are no longer threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Not really hard. Dragons should always be. It should scale appropriately. The more powerful you get, the dragons, they should get a little easier, but they should still be hard. It should still be, if you see a dragon fly overhead, and you shouldn't be like, oh, no big deal. It should still be like, okay, we got to fight now, as opposed to, I'll take him out. You should never be able to one shot a dragon with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did have a great deal of fun playing it, and it's such a blast. But I decided I needed something dramatically different from a fantasy game to cleanse my palate again. So I put in Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man 2 video game, and I've been playing that the last 2 nights, and it is fantastic. It is absolutely great. You switch between Peter and Miles throughout the whole game. You can either switch at different times, and then there are times the game forces you to be one or the other. It is not the standard Marvel 616 or the MCU, although there are times when the Peter character looks a lot like Tom Holland. The Laura Bailey does the voice of Mary Jane, so that's fun. It is a beautiful game and it's a lot of fun and they did some variations on the story because, like I said, this is a different Marvel universe from in the Marvel multiverse. They've even established like that specific Spider-Man, that specific Peter Parker, has crossed over into the 616 Marvel universe. At one point, doing like a cross multiversal crossover thing. So, but it's just absolutely fantastic. If you get the chance, highly recommend it. There's some really great and there's so much to do. There's so many challenges and there's so many like fun things and gadgets for Spider-Man to kind of develop and moves and costumes from all over across the Spider-Man, like from the cartoon movies, from the live action movies, from the comic books. I've seen a few things. I'm like, oh wow, wouldn't expect to see that costume variation, but some really cool stuff. And a few things that I'm like, I don't recognize any of this shit. Like a couple of costumes that I'm like, what is that from? So highly recommend that. If you guys get the chance to play it, it is really, really well done. On top of the fact that like I mean, you just get to swing around Manhattan as Spider-Man. It's just like I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, if they made this for VR, could you imagine the level of puking you'd be doing, like breakating through the city? It's really, really great. There are references to other superheroes, like there is an Avengers Tower, and there is you can go to um, Doctor Strange's sanctum at one
Well, you
point.
could you
Black
can go to
Cat.
this. You go to the Sanctum in the first one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But Doctor Strange or Wong are not in the game because they're not licensed
Hmm.
by Sony. Um, but they're referenced. Black Cat like basically sneaks into the sanctum to steal the wand of Watum. So it's pretty cool. But that being said, the Spider-Man, the third animated Spider-Man movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse, uh, there's some new information about that. Um, Let me see the release date. It was previously slated for March 29th of last year. It's arriving in cinemas June 4th of 2027. So the film was indefinitely delayed amid the WGA writers and SAG-AFTRA actors strike in 23. Has taken almost 2 years to set a definitive date. It was previously slated for 24, and now because of those strikes, it got delayed a great deal. But it is now um, on track
I
for
still
June
haven't.
4th of 27.
I still haven't
So
watched the second one.
me too. I still have to watch the second one.
Um, so Ojibo says that he's actually finishing up uh, Harley Quinn. That's another show I've meant to
Oh,
mention. Renee and I finished that. Uh,
I need to
this
finish
season was
that one up
not
too.
their best. It was still okay, but definitely wasn't their best. I think they might have one more season in them, but I think it's getting close to end times for Harley.
They need to go out on top before they
Yeah,
go.
before
Take
it
their
really
time.
starts going down.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, yeah, I got to get back to finishing that one up too. It was really, really good.
I also saw a article that Keanu Reeves is coming back for John Wick 5.
Yeah, I saw something. I mean, we also have the Ballerina film that's coming out this summer
Mm-hmm.
that takes place, I think, somewhere between. It's either between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4, or something like that. It takes place in between a couple of the movies in John Wick. I think Keanu Reeves actually does have a small cameo in the Ballerina. So I'm excited for that too. The trailer I've seen looks fucking incredible. I was surprised to hear that Reeves was be like ready to be willing to come back for John Wick 5, considering the fact that it looked like he was dead at the end. I mean,
I don't know.
it
I
was
haven't seen
kind
it.
of.
I've only seen the first one so far. They also said
Ah,
that there's going to be a new anime prequel film.
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I I enjoy the John Wick movies, but you definitely have to suspend your disbelief because there's so many people die. Like How do you cover that up? I mean, just so many people die in those movies. It's really crazy.
Um,
Um,
but yeah,
they also just recently announced the tagline or the secondary title for the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, featuring Tom Holland. It will be Spider-Man Brand New Day is the official Spider-Man 4 title.
yeah, I saw
Now they're
something
saying
about
it,
that. It's like triggering people or something.
well, it's triggering because I believe Brand New Day was the storyline where Peter Parker, they did away with with his marriage to Mary Jane.
Mm.
And, Mephisto snapped his fingers and he gave up his marriage to Mary Jane. And what it did is it reversed lot of the things that happened because of Civil War, where Spider-Man revealed his identity to the world, and Aunt May was dying, and
So it's
basically
basically like
Mephisto,
what happened with the multiverse one.
yeah,
That that
a lot of that, yeah, and basically Mephisto came to them, to Mary Jane and Peter, were like, "Hey, I can help you out. I can fix all of this." But I want something from you. They're like, we're not getting our souls. Forget it. And he goes, I don't want your souls. You're too pure. You're too good. I don't want your souls. I want your marriage. And and Mary Jane was the one that made the deal. And she was like, "Yep, you can have." And so basically what he did is he extracted the entire concept of the two of them being married. And they had been married in continuity for well over like 15 years. And it was just like and a lot of people got really mad because it all came down to the fact that Joe Quesada, the editor in chief of Marvel Comics at the time, who was also drawing the book, he did not like the idea of Peter being married. He never liked the idea of Peter being married. But he didn't want to make him a divorcee and he didn't want to make him a widower. So they had to figure out how to do that. So a lot of people felt like, man, that's some bullshit. It was a bullshit fucking thing. It was disrespectful to what all these other writers had created ahead of time beforehand, and that's one of the things that really bothers me is when a new writer comes onto a comic book and says, I don't like any of this shit this previous writer did, and I'm going
yeah
to do my own, and
yeah,
just
and they
tosses all
basically
that
just
crap out there.
retcon everything. That's one
Yeah,
of the
I
biggest
don't like
complaints
that.
a lot of people have about comics is that
Yeah,
they're
the
supposed to be
inconsistency,
serialized.
right,
But a lot of times they're not. They're compartmentalized.
right.
It's this person's version of it. Now
Right.
it's this person's version of it.
Now, if they establish that and it's separate, it's a separate continuity or whatever, then great. But, you know, like right now, what they're doing with Thor, they're doing some really cool things with Thor. But with Thor being a cosmic character and a godly character and stuff, they can kind of tweak things a little bit and make, things can be a little unrealistic or they can bend the ideas of the perception of reality. So weird things happen to Thor sometimes. The entire pantheon of the Asgardian gods go through Ragnarok, and then the next writer comes in and he brings them all back somehow. Or Thor comes back and he has to go through a bunch of trials to bring his friends back, from the afterlife or whatever. That kind of thing happens a little more often in books like Thor, but it's just if I feel like a writer needs to respect what the previous writer did, and sometimes they do, and it's one of the problems what editors have. The problems that editors have is justifying or rectifying or whatever, dealing with that continuity, trying to make that all of that continuity work sometimes because they're like, when a writer wants to do something, they're like, oh, you can't do that. We already did that in this issue back here. Or if you do that, it's going to fuck up all this other stuff we've already established over here.
Or
So,
if you do
you
that,
know,
it's going to fuck up the plans we have for these 5 other books.
yeah, exactly. If you do all this shit, particularly in books that are really tied tightly together, like the X books, if you do all this shit in here in the X-Men, then in Uncanny X-Men, it's gonna fuck up what this writer's trying to do, or wherever else. The same thing. If you do things that are weird in Iron Man, It's going to affect what the character is doing in the Avengers. I mean, just recently, Thor is taking a leave of absence from the Avengers because of the shit that's going down in his book. So, but it gives them the opportunity to bring Storm from the X-Men into the Avengers. And so they're like, okay, fucking cool. That's a cool idea. Let's do that, you know. So, it is frustrating, but because of that, from they're going to do that. I don't believe, from what I understand, though, Brand New Day is not going to be the same. It's not, of course, the story, the same where he's, sells his marriage. He's a kid. He's not married, and there also is talk, though. Because it is also the first one to step away from the home theme because
Yeah.
it was Far From Home, No Way Home, whatever. So it's the first one to step away from that. So they're saying it is going to be different. And yeah, this series I was talking about ran in '08, and it was a soft reboot for Peter Parker after he agreed to term set up of Mephisto to sacrifice his marriage to Mary Jane in order to save the life of his Aunt May. Mary Jane also whispered something into Mephisto's ear, and we still to this day don't know what she said. It was part of the deal, and I think it was one of those things that it was like somehow some caveat that she made. But there were also, like Sadie Sink, who was the redhead on Stranger Things, has been cast in one of these in this next movie. So there are a lot of people are saying, is she going to play a different Mary Jane? Is she going to play? Who is she playing in this movie? So, Spider-Man 4 will be released July 31st of 26 with filming starting soon. So a little over 14 months from now, give or take, and we'll see the next Spider-Man movie. Awesome.
Cool.
We are getting late, but I did
Yeah.
want to I did want to address the big announcement. They finally announced, they did announce, and they are still announcing. This is just the beginning of all the characters that will be seen in
Well, hold
Avengers
on. Before we get into that, because that's
Doomsday.
going to take a little bit, there was something I wanted to talk about that was
Okay.
announced today,
Yeah.
and they're swearing this is not a joke. And I actually went online and looked, and you can actually order this. It is KFC flavored toothpaste.
Fuck you. Fuck you. No. No.
Yep, it's
Who does that?
what is it? It is His Smile. Is hissmile.com.
High Smile?
High
Is it
Smile.
High Smile?
No, it's his. It's well, it might be High Smile, but it's His Mile, High Smile, whatever. It's HISMILE.com. But yeah, they said they're taking flavor notes inspired by KFC's legendary 11 herbs and spices, all wrapped up in a craveable toothpaste that delivers next level freshness with every brush, like biting into a hot, juicy piece of KFC original recipe chicken. This toothpaste is irresistible, coating your teeth in flavor before leaving your mouth feeling fresh and clean.
I call bullshit. There's no way that they're going to be. You could brush your teeth with KFC flavored toothpaste and come away feeling fresh. No fucking way, man.
They said this started as an April Fool's joke, but we thought, why not make it real? Says we love pushing boundaries, and what better way to do it than bringing KFC's legendary flavors into everyday essential? This collab is bold, unexpected, and seriously fun. It's $13 for the toothpaste, and it's $59 if you want the KFC electric toothbrush to go with it.
People are fucking stupid. That's what? 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 No. At least mashed potatoes look similar. Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mashed taters.
Extra crispy toothpaste. Fuck off. That's funny.
Hey,
Okay,
I love me some original recipe KFC, but
in all honesty, I mean, yeah, I still like KFC, but in all honesty, most of the time, like if I get chicken, I go to there's a Happy's Pizza on the corner and
This
they
one
do
right
some
here by
pretty
me too.
decent.
I've never had.
Yeah, they do
I've never
some
had their
pretty
stuff.
decent chicken strips. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
not just like a chicken strip like from like a bag of frozen chicken strips. They're pretty good. It tastes like they
Um,
actually take the chicken breasts, cut them, and then bread
Detroit
them.
Wing
And
Company too. They do a really good
yeah,
job.
yeah. So anyway, so let's get into this real quick. I mean, we're just gonna rattle them off.
Oh, CD
I'm gonna
says he
rattle them
has
off,
orange
and
cream toothpaste right now.
what?
CD says he has orange cream toothpaste right now.
No, you do not, CD. Orange cream toothpaste, right? No, you do not. You do not. Fuck off.
I do actually.
Why? Why? You're not supposed to mix mint and orange. Have you
But it
ever
doesn't
brushed
have
your
to be
teeth
mint,
after? Have you
dude.
ever drank orange juice after you've brushed your teeth with
It's
like?
special. Yes, yeah, but see that's the thing.
Special.
So, dude, when I get my teeth get my teeth cleaned and they put that polish on, a lot of times they ask me, do I want mint or orange?
People are weird. Give me a goddamn break. Okay, so last week, or Marvel did a big deal. They did a live. It was 5 hours, a live stream on YouTube, where they slowly throughout that five hours would
That's a
bring out another
long fucking reveal.
long. Yeah,
That's a come on.
yeah.
What
Where
did
they
Perrin do it?
huh?
Did Perrin do it?
Yeah, yeah. Here
So
we go.
next on the list.
All they did was they brought out the chair, a director's chair, and it had the name of the actor on the director's chair. And they would set it down to the next to the next one. And you know who the actor is because these are all iconic superhero actors who have played superhero roles in superhero movies over the last 20 years. Of course, we have Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. And they said they released 27 actors. We know that there are more coming. They said there's more coming. We didn't give you all of them. And this is for Doomsday, and they've even said that some of them may not be in Doomsday, they'll be in Secret War, which is the one that they're pretty much going to be filming right after this, you know. So they're saying like if just because your favorite character isn't necessarily in Doomsday, they might still be in Secret War. So anyway, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, of course we knew that. Now there's still a great deal of speculation. Is he going to be actually Victor Von Doom, or is going to be some variation of Tony Stark? Personally, I hope he really is actually Victor Von Doom.
I do
of
too.
some particular.
They need to not make it something to do with Stark.
Right. But my guess is he will be some kind of Stark variant from another dimension, and then we'll see a true actor play, because that's the thing. Many of the actors that they've cast are older actors that will not be reprising their roles after this movie. You know, then and they're going to probably be recast by younger actors in future like X-Men movies and whatnot. So we do have Tony Stark. We have Chris Hemsworth returning as Thor. Now, Chris Hemsworth has stated multiple times that he would like to continue playing Thor for as long as he can. He has a great deal of fun playing it. So that's cool. We haven't seen Thor since Love and Thunder. And so I think he kind of doesn't want to go out on that movie. I bet Hemsworth wants to go out on a better movie than Love and Thunder, which had its moments, and it was hilarious at times, but and had some cool action and had some really great moments. But ultimately, it definitely fell short. We also have Anthony Mackie as Captain America. You and I just recently saw Captain America, Brave New World, and
It's been almost 2 months.
I thought I enjoyed it. Huh?
It's been almost 2 months, believe it or not.
Yeah. But I still enjoyed it a great deal. I think it was a decent B level movie among the Marvel movies, and it was a big setup for the next couple movies. So we'll see what's going on next with him. We have number 4. We have Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Great, Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd, and I like him as Ant-Man. Letitia Wright as the Black Panther. She plays Shuri, who took over as the Black Panther when Chadwick Boseman passed away, and who played the Black Panther. there is ongoing rumor. They are talking about that there will be another Black Panther film, and they are talking about the fact that they will probably be. There's a possibility of recasting T'Challa. They are talking about that, which is what I thought they should have done originally. They should have just recast a new actor to play T'Challa. As much as I liked Letitia Wright as Shuri, and I thought it was a cool switch up. I would have liked to seen more with the character of T'Challa before we moved on to that. We have Tom Hiddleston returning as Loki. Now, a lot of people, there was speculation that Loki wasn't going to come back. We weren't going to see him again.
Center of the universe now.
He is Yggdrasil now. He is Yggdrasil. So, but he is apparently returning as Loki. Now, again, we could be looking at flashbacks. We could be looking at characters that are returning, coming back. There's all kinds of different speculation.
Could be a variant.
We don't know. There's also people saying like this is going to be a fucking crazy expensive film. This is going to be upwards of the same level as of Infinity War and Endgame, and you got to think to yourself like how much screen time are actually these actors going to get? Probably not a whole lot, because again, they're going to be on, they may not be on screen for very long, but they will be in the movie. So we'll see. Number 7, Florence Pugh is Black Widow's sister, Yelena. Now, some characters they're saying will be more major characters. You will be seeing more of them, and I would bet Yelena would be the White Widow will probably be in the movie a bit more. Because they're banking on her a bit more.
You're such a poser.
Yeah, it's great. But we will also be seeing her in the upcoming Thunderbolts, which premieres on May 2nd. So we got a little over a month for that one. I'm excited.
Month from tomorrow.
Yep. Wyatt Russell will be returning as the U.S. agent. We saw him most recently. We saw him in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he will be reprising his role in Thunderbolts. So I'm actually really excited about that. I thought that character has some potential. This lost Captain America, or this failed Captain America. Trying to, as we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and in Brave New World, trying to live up to the legacy of Steve Rogers is pretty damn difficult, and putting that on him is really hard. But I'm excited though, and we have also David Harbour as returning as the Red Guardian, another character that we are going to see in Thunderbolts. And he is a crack up and awesome, and I love David Harbour, and the Red Guardian is amazing. We're going to see Sebastian Stan return as the Winter Soldier. Again, he'll
basically all of the Thunderbolts are coming in.
All the Thunderbolts are coming back. We have again a big thing that was very exciting. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. All 4 members of the Fantastic Four are slated to be in this film as well. So we have our answer as to how the Fantastic Four is going to be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, some way, somehow through Doomsday. Vanessa Kirby as the Invisible Woman, Eben Moss Backrack as the Thing, and of course Joseph Quinn as Human Torch. We're all going to see them in the Fantastic Four, which comes out later this year, this summer. One of the biggest reveals and things that people were extremely excited about was Patrick Stewart as Professor X. We finally have our official mutant in the Marvel Universe. We last saw him play this part in
Watched him get fucking melted.
Yeah, in Multiverse of Madness. Watched him. Yeah, got his neck broken.
Yeah.
But it was so cool, and
that's right. He got his neck broken. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was Mr. Fantastic that got melted. Now again, this is one of the characters I was talking about. One of the actors we're talking about. He's in his 80s now. He's already said he can't do action and stuff anymore. So this is probably the last time we're going to see him play Professor X before they recast the character. Also, in keeping in form, Ian McKellen is Magneto. Excited about that as well. I thought Ian McKellen killed it as Magneto. Mm-hmm. When he was originally first cast, I was not sure because I didn't feel he had the gravitas. He was an older guy. He looked older. He was like Magneto needed to be more handsome, maybe that too. but he killed it. He absolutely killed it, changing my mind. He was so good as Magneto. So going to be excited to see that. Kelsey Grammer returning as the Beast. Now, who's to say he was originally in the X-Men: The Last Stand? Kelsey Grammer was great. He also voiced the Beast, a digital version of the Beast in the end credits of the Marvels. I thought Kelsey Grammer actually was perfect as the Beast,
I think
but
he's a great cast for the
he
Beast.
really is. But he also did it back in '06, and that was 20 years ago. And so most of these actors are getting a little too old to continue to play these roles. So I think we will see a great deal of recasting after this. We also have Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler returning. He last time he played this role was in '03 in X2. So and he was perfect. He was absolutely amazing. He was so good. Nightcrawler's always been one of my favorites. And to see him come back as this, and he's excited. I mean, a lot of these people are like, "Oh, I'm super excited." Rebecca Romaine returning as Mystique.
I can't
My
believe
guess
that
is,
she's agreed to come back for that.
my guess is she's not going to come back in the body paint. She'll be wearing clothes because as I love Rebecca Romaine. She's amazing as Una Chin on Strange New Worlds, but I doubt she's going to want to get back in the body paint for this one. Just there's a lot of pressure on her to do that and to be have the perfect body again, and like I said, it's been well over 20 years. So, not well over 20 years, but it's been over 20 years since she played the part. So, probably we'll see Mystique in clothes this time around. James Marsden returning as Cyclops. Channing Tatum coming back as Gambit, which we saw as Gambit in Deadpool 3. I was tickled pink when I heard this. I mean, that's hilarious. I think it's honestly giving him the chance to play the role he was trying to play for years. 22, we're running up the end here.
Oh, Chipo doesn't like that one, by the way.
No, Chipo, you're not about Channing Tatum as Gambit, huh? I think he'd be fine. I think he was okay. It was more of a gag really to put him in that in Deadpool because he had tried for so long, and I mean they were both Deadpool and the Gambit movies were both announced at the same time, and they just were never able to get it together. And that and the fact that because of when Marvel was able to reacquire and Disney acquired uh uh was it not Paramount?
Fox.
Fox. It became a mess, and they're like, okay, we still want to do it, but how do we do it? How do we work it into the schedule? And kind of went away. Simu Liu coming back as Song-Chi. I'm excited about this because I really liked Song-Chi, and I think it was a great. No, I really want to see more of that character and see. I believe they are still talking about a second movie featuring him, a second solo movie featuring him.
Yeah, they're making it.
Uh, I think they are making it. Yeah. Tenak Huerta Mehta as Namor. We see him again as Namor. I thought this was a very cool take on the character. We saw him in Black Panther 2. I thought it was a really cool take. It should be interesting to see how they progress with that character. Winston Duke returning as M'Baku from he was one of the leaders of one of the rivaling tribes of Wakanda. He was a variation of the character Man Ape, which was considered they didn't want to lean into the whole Man Ape thing because they feel like it was kind of a product of kind of racial storytelling of the
One more
70s.
word out of you, white man, and I feed you to my children.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
We're
I'm kidding. We are
vegetarians.
vegetarians. He was great.
Yeah,
He was
he
great.
was so funny.
He was great. He was great in the sequel too.
And
He was
yes,
really great.
there's no definitive date for Shang-Chi 2, but it has been confirmed to be in development, and the rumored title is Shang-Chi 2: The Wreckage of Time.
Oh, cool. All right, great. Number 25, we're rounding out the end here. Louis Pullman as Bob. Louis Pullman from the Thunderbolts. That is the Sentry. If that's the case, um, that's surprising because I mean, there's the rumor is that he is kind of the villain of the Thunderbolts because because the Sentry um, is a dissociative identity disorder that the evil version of him is the villain that they have to defeat. So we'll see. Um, and then the last two here, we've got Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, who's also from the Thunderbolts, and Danny Ramirez as the new Falcon. These have all been confirmed to be in Doomsday so far. Now they're still saying, well, where's Tom Holland? Where is the Hulk? So where's Spider-Man? Where's the Hulk? Where's Doctor Strange? They have, I believe, established that Doctor Strange, that Cumberbatch will not be in this one. I believe he is supposed to be in Secret War, which I would, also, where's She-Hulk? We don't have a Hulk in this movie yet. So where's the Hulk? Where's She-Hulk? Where is Daredevil? Where is, Jessica Jones? So there are still some questions as to, there was a rumor that Chris Evans was supposed to be in this movie as well, probably as a variation of Steve Rogers, but he wasn't in the initial announcements. So we shall see.
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm super excited, and really looking forward to what they're going to do next. So, I mean, they're saying the next two Marvel movies are probably going to knock it out of the park. Thunderbolts is getting really, really good initial reviews, like pre-reviews, and the Fantastic Four, people are very excited. In fact, two of the most anticipated movies of the summer are Superman and Fantastic Four, and they're kind of going neck and neck here as to which one they're more excited for.
All right, well, we should start wrapping things up. I just
We
have
should.
one last quick announcement, and this is mostly just for you. Next Tavern Nights, as well, because I know we talked about this earlier and I didn't mention it. There will be new microphones.
New microphones.
Everyone will have a lavalier mic.
No.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been testing them out.
Like a wireless
lavalier mic. Yep.
So we're like clipped to our shirts or something?
Yeah, they got a little clip on them. You just clip them on to like your collar or your shirt or whatever, and
wow, fancy and schmancy.
So I'm excited. The audio is not, like knock it out of the park, fantastic, but I think it's going to be better than us just all yelling into a mic at the end of the table.
Right. Yeah. No. It'll improve the audio. I mean, our audio wasn't terrible, but it will definitely improve the audio if we're all on. I mean, we're all going to be on separate channels. Are you going to have a channel mixer? And
No. It's actually for a conference room. It's a conference phone. It's what it is.
Huh.
That plugs in, that the receiver has different channels, and there are 10 lavalier mics that come with it. And and you just turn them on, and it activates a light on the outside of the little circular puck speaker. And I have to use that as the speaker, or I get hum on the audio. So that's going to be the speaker now. So anything I play, like any of the Sirenscape stuff, I've even tested this, will be playing at that end of the table instead of down by me. So
okay. Well, all right, man. I mean, cool. Thank you for the investment. Yeah, see, everybody, Chris is the money behind this show because I have none.
These weren't overly expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. Very, very cool. That should, I guess, that should probably much do it. It's about 10 o'clock.
Yep. We should wrap things up.
We should wrap things up. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight on this chilly Tuesday night here in Metro Detroit. Guys, we will not be back on Friday gaming because we just gamed last week without me. But we will be back next Friday, the following Friday, at 7:30 to start our tabletop D&D game. Get back. We will be back next Tuesday, as always, with our 400th episode. 400th episode of Nerds with Alcohol, guys. Be sure to tune in. We're both very busy, so I don't think we're gonna go anywhere. But we might be able to, at least Chris and I might be able to like maybe talk about some stuff. Maybe we can even get a guest. We can get or something. We have to maybe work about on that, and or maybe a couple guests. Who knows? And uh, it's a milestone. So
It is.
here's hoping that Donald Trump doesn't do anything
With guest Patrick Stewart.
ridiculous. Yeah, there we go.
I
Special
wish.
guest.
I wish.
I couldn't handle it. Neither of us can handle it. Hopefully, Donald Trump doesn't do anything ridiculously stupid in the next week. But that's the chances are that happening are pretty high. Guys, be sure to, as always, keep your eyes open, keep your mind open. Be sure to just keep an eye on things
keep it on.
because keep it on. Please tell all your friends about us and continue to check in and check out the Facebook page, the Instagram. We are on Bluesky, although I don't know, we haven't done a whole lot of posting.
No,
on
I
it
just
yet.
I just posted the show tonight though on there. So
Okay. And if you guys ever have something you want us to talk about, let us know. We're always happy to take suggestions for content.
CD was posting in the Discord just before the show, and he almost got me on a whole thing about 80s movies.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
the 80 movies. 80s movies.
We may talk about that. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Yeah,
We'll get
because
into some 80s movie stuff because
we can spend a segment on that because that is something that's passionate. We were talking about. I saw that too, and Last Starfighter, my science project.
Night of the Comet's another one.
Night of the Comet. The 80s really did spoil us. There were some really, particularly 83 to 86, there were some really iconic movies that still stand the test of time as just incredibly good movies. And I'm happy to talk about that stuff. It's fantastic.
All right, remember you can follow us on most social medias. We're on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show, and like Russ said, we're on the other social medias. Just look for Drinking Nerds, and you should be able to find us. So I think that's gonna about do it.
That should do it.
So on that note,
until next time, Slancha.
All right, have a good week, everybody.
Good night.
We get off